Gang, I am thrilled to have a first-time guest, first time on radio ever. Are you nervous, Char?
No, not really. I'm okay.
Well, you should be. We're going to make this very painful for you.
Oh, thanks a lot.
You know what's so crazy, though, is when you're talking about something you're passionate about and you love, it seems like the nerves dissipate, don't they?
Absolutely. I agree with that.
And so before we dive into what you love, I want to know who you are. Charlene Kuznia, I assume that you have a lifelong story to tell, and I want to learn about it, but in a brief synopsis.
I will put it as brief as possible. I am definitely not from the Fargo-Moorhead area. I was born and raised up in a small farming community of Argyle, Minnesota. And
Argyle?
Argyle.
Argyle, okay.
Argyle, Minnesota.
It's my favorite kind of sweater.
There you go, yes. And I married and I was working at a bank for 41 years up in Stephen, Minnesota. It's Argyle and Stephen is community together. And about 2.5 years ago, life kind of changed for me, and my daughter and I decided to start this, and her husband, I should say, Jacob, a nonprofit, which is totally different than anything I've ever done.
You were in the banking world.
I was in the banking world.
Is
yes,
rules
totally.
and regulations.
Totally.
And I mean, you're talking federal, local, national. I mean, there's all sorts of red tape, and then you move into a nonprofit world.
It had changed a lot over the 41 years of banking for me. Yes,
I bet.
And then into the nonprofit world is a total new and something that, I don't know, God put me here on this one because it's been very humbling and very wonderful experience. I'm glad that I'm here in where I'm at now in my life.
And what you and your daughter are doing, what's your daughter's name?
My daughter's name is Janessa, and her husband is Jacob Philippi. And my daughter is a elementary school counselor for Washington Elementary.
So with this being the first week of school, my wife is a first grade teacher, and I haven't seen her. Like I assume she's with students. I don't think she's laying out at the pool getting a tan or anything because they are so busy this week.
Totally, very much so. Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy household over there right now.
So she's a counselor in town working with elementary school students.
Yes.
And the two of you, along with her husband as well, have formed Down Home.
We have.
What in the world is Down Home?
Down Home is a nonprofit that we help the homeless that are coming out of homeless shelters. We partner with all the homeless shelter agencies, and when they have secured a space that they can live in, we help them fill this little void or this little niche or something that they, once they get into their space, we'll help them furnish them with beds and mattresses and sofas, comforts of home, table, right down to the decorations and putting things on the walls to make a house a home for them. An empty space, a space to embrace.
I don't know if you know this because this is our first time meeting face to face. You're like speaking my love languages right now, Char.
Am I? Okay, I appreciate it.
Real estate, of course.
Yes.
And then caring for those that are in need is just so near and dear to my heart. Here's what I know is that the housing first model, if you're unfamiliar with the changes that are happening nationwide and systemic wide, this housing first model is really encouraging somebody to get lodging and to get housing before they have to fix their problems. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, it is.
So before you say to somebody, take care of your mental illness or your addiction and your brokenness and go get a job, let's get you a stable house first.
That's exactly it. And safety and safety for the children. Where it all started from was children coming to my daughter in counseling were, coming from homeless shelters, and they were having problems making friends or anything, because how can you bring a friend home to a homeless shelter? How can you learn when you're going back to a homeless shelter? Or even when you're coming home to your space and you're sleeping on the floor every night, how do you make connections? And so by having a safety place for the children and a safe place for the parent, they can move forward, hopefully, in society and grow together. Yeah.
Well, the statistics are staggering when you see the success of a housing first model, and especially a house and a home that is filled with love and support and resources. Somebody's ability to relapse is much less. Their likelihood of getting a job becoming less of a burden on taxpayers' money. Because we all have the things that are going to be our sticking point in that. For some is a financial move, and the stats will show that housing first is a better financial move than relying on the old shelter system.
Correct. Yes.
The shelter's there for a short-term problem and not a long-term solution.
That's true.
And then if your heart is probably similar to what yours and your daughter's is, it's about the kids. And it's about the connection and saying, how can we give them stability that they deserve?
Absolutely. Yes.
And so
and to help empower them and help empower the parents.
Right.
Also.
And so with you and your daughter and your son-in-law now, you're doing something really big in our community, but you're doing it quietly. And I don't think you're trying to do it quietly, right?
Because we're trying to be bigger, but we're growing in a slow way.
I say that because it's new.
Yes.
I say that because we are inundated with nonprofits in our community, which is my way of seeing people are so fired up about making a difference.
Yes.
But I think what you're doing, Char, is a literal long-term solution for those kids, for those parents, for the singles, and everyone in between.
Absolutely.
You're finding a way to provide them resources.
Absolutely.
So how are you doing this? How are you turning these houses from houses into homes for folks?
Well, with the help of the community, definitely, and the donors through sponsorship, donations of gently used furniture and decor and wall. So we have a warehouse that we fill up and produce. And when we meet with a client that has been referred to us by a homeless shelter, we will see their space. We measure out their space. We've learned to measure out their space because we've gotten a few pieces stuck in the hallways when they're too big. And then we come back to our warehouse, and with the help of volunteers, passionate volunteers that want to help too, we're able to organize and put together. And then the day of a reveal, when we move them into their space, we have them leave. We meet up with them. We have them leave, and in 2 hours, we can put together a whole space for them. We will put them mattresses, the beds, the wall decor, everything. And when they come back, it's like a reveal. Totally, that's been. I don't know how to even say it. It's just overwhelming for them, and it's overwhelming for us. It's very humbling to see their reaction, and for the children, it's just amazing. Some of the reactions of the children is just, it's been,
I want you to imagine for a moment if you are a single mom of 2 kids and you're running from domestic violence and you land yourselves at the YWCA in town. Yes. And these kids are living at a shelter for 2 or 3 or 4 months, and finally you're able to get yourself into a place. Yep. And it still feels barren and impersonal. And then all of a sudden, here comes Down Home.
Yes.
Stepping in. And what they're doing is they're warming up the space, and they're making it for somebody that they can actually call their own.
Exactly.
The chance of those kids to have better connection, better education, better love, better support, less outbursts, and everything else is being touched by what you're doing.
Yes. And we're seeing that also because we do follow up. We have like a little pay it forward program that we have with the clients, to kind of get into the community. We want them to get involved with their children, maybe into some of the children activities, or in the community of the fire department to bring cookies or anything, so that they can start feeling good about themselves as parents and as children. That's what we hope, that by getting themselves involved, they're going to empower themselves to want to move forward. The next obstacle, I'm sure, is, of course, is maybe some kind of transportation that find themselves, because a lot of them are on public transportation, a job, and we follow up with them for a year. We have another connections committee that we follow up with them just to see how they're doing, how hopefully that we haven't forgotten about them. Yeah. We don't just give them this and say, here you are. We don't forget about them. We want to, my daughter come up with the idea from Down Home, from the Alabama song, where everybody knows your name.
Oh, sure.
And treats you like family.
Well,
so that's where it's come from.
Let me say this, because we're going to run out of time, unfortunately, and I could talk to you all day long about this.
Yes.
I think there's folks listening right now that want to give, that maybe have some of the gently used items that you're talking about to make a difference, as well as you have an event coming up. So where can everybody learn about this event on September 15th, as well as figuring out how to donate to Down Home?
Okay, so our website is www.down-home.org.
Okay.
And if they go on our website, they will see everything of the Down Home. It's September 15th at the Drecker Brewhalla.
Perfect.
Downtown.
One of my favorite spots.
Yeah, it's a really unique venue. and it's going to be from 4 to 8. So it's a Sunday. Of course, it'll be it's good Spitfire food. So we're going to have a down-home meal. You don't have to dress up in suit and ties and all that kind of fun stuff. You can come in your cowboy boots if you like, because that's kind of a down-home feel. So we had a lot of fun last year. This is our second one. So we're hoping, we're getting going on it. Our location is up in North Fargo at 2102 12th Street North. Is where we're located, so for donations. But the best way to contact us possibly is through info at down-home.org, and that connects to me, and then I can visit with them about if they would like to donate some gently used items.
Char, thanks for all you do. Looking forward to seeing the growth of Down Home, and I look forward to a day when it doesn't need to exist.
We do too. That's exactly it.
Folks, we're going to go to break. Check out hatchrealty.com. And in the meantime, we'll see you in a minute. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.